Okay, and welcome to our last angle review, level 5. Now, let's talk about example 1. Given angle QNP is 11x minus 14. And notice from Q to N to P, well, that is in fact our entire angle, and that's of course going to be 11x minus 14. Now we know also that QNW, so let's see, Q to N to W is going to be 6x plus 7, and W and P is going to be pretty hard to fit in here, but it's got two arcs, and of course that's going to be 2x plus 3. Okay, now what are we saying here? Well, we know our traditional role is to identify, okay, you know what, that is a part, and of course that is a whole. And we know that the rule of thumb is that the part plus the part is equal to the whole. Now, why is this problem a little trickier? Well, let's set it up. We know our first part is 6x plus 7 plus 2x plus 3, our second part, and this is going to equal 11x minus 14. And so, as we begin to work through this, well, let's look here on the left side. We can simplify by combining our like terms. 6x plus 2x is 8x, and of course plus 7 plus 3 is going to be plus 10, and this equals 11x minus 14. Now, this is just trickier because instead of being given like an angle here, we're given another expression, so we just have one step added to it. Okay, well, we see an 8x on the left, 11x on the right. I want to move my smaller x by subtracting 8x from both sides. And now we have 10 is equal to 11 minus 8 will give us 3x minus 14. Of course, we know we get rid of our subtraction first, so we're going to add 14 to both sides. And of course, 10 plus 14 will be 24, and this will equal 3x. Now, in order to get the x by itself, well, we divide both sides by 3, and we're going to wind up with x equals 24 divided by 3, which is in fact 8. Now, in this problem, we're not actually done. It says find the measure of angle QNP. So let's see, which one was QNP? Well, it looks like QNP was from Q to N to P. That was our whole angle. Sorry, I meant to do this in red to circle it. That was our whole angle. And so all we have to do is rewrite it, replacing the x with a parentheses. So 11 parentheses minus 14 times 8. Now we're in luck. 11 times 8, that's easy. That's going to be 88 minus 14. And guys, of course, 88 minus 14 is going to give us 74. And this will equal the angle QNP. And by the way, 74 degrees. Always use your labels. Alright, I would encourage you to pause this, finish taking up any notes. Let's move on to our very next example. Okay, with example 2, it says given angle ABS, and notice there's no picture here. So let's go ahead and draw our angle. Now look, you could draw ABS as an obtuse angle, ABS, or you could draw it as an acute angle, where it's A to B to S. It really doesn't matter which one you draw it. I would encourage you to draw whichever one you feel like, but let's go ahead and draw it in a way that we can start labeling some parts. It says it's bisected by ray BR. So, well, ray BR is going to be here from B to R, or ray BR is from here from B to R. And what do we know about bisecting an angle? Well, it's cutting it into two congruent sections, or it's cutting it into two congruent pieces. Okay, so what do we know here? We know that angle ABS is 12x minus 4. A to B to S is going to be this whole thing, which will be 12x minus 4. And of course, if I was using this picture, it'd be 12x minus 4. Once again, if you're hung up on the two pictures, I'm just showing you it doesn't really matter how you draw it, just draw an angle. And then from here, we know ABR, so let's see, so A to B to R, that's going to be 4x plus 6. Or over here, I'll have to squeeze it in, that's going to be 4x plus 6. Now let's go ahead and do what we've been traditionally doing. Let's label this as our part, and this is our whole. Or over here, this was our part, and this was our whole. Once again, it doesn't matter how you draw the picture. And let's then go ahead and set up our equality statement. we're literally saying this. We're saying that angle ABR is congruent to angle 12x minus 4. And I'm asking you, is that a true or false statement? Is it true to say that a part is equal to a whole? And of course, the answer is no. We know that we need two parts, in this case, to equal our whole. Okay, so we're going to multiply that angle ABR by 2, and that, of course, looks like this. 2 times 4x plus 6 is equal to 12x minus 4. Now, of course, let's go ahead and work it out. We know that 2 distributes. 2 times 4 is 8x. 2 times 6 will, of course, give us that 12. And over here we have that 12x minus 4. That's a little cramped, I do apologize, but notice we have an x right here and an x right here. And when we have variables on both sides, we always want to move the smaller x. So I'm going to subtract 8x from both sides, subtract 8x. I'm actually going to bring this over here. So I know that zeroes out, and we are left over with 12 is equal to 4x minus 4. And sorry, that's a minus sign there. Okay, so 12 equals 4x minus 4. Well, we know we're going to add 4 to both sides. And once that's gone, we now have 16 is equal to 4x. And all we have to do is simply divide both sides by 4. And we know 16 divided by 4, well, x is equal to 4. Now, my screen is entirely cramped up. I want you to pause the video, finish taking any notes, but let me go ahead and make this look a little bit nicer. Okay, so continuing example 2, just a little bit more nicer and neater. It says find the measure of angle RBS. Well, you'll notice R to B to S, that is this angle that we don't have any expression written for. But we do know that RBS is the other part of the angle. And the good thing about angle bisectors is that both parts are congruent. And so what we can then say is, you know what, since ABR, or 4x plus 6, is congruent to RBS, we can just plug our x value of 4 in there and solve. Now 4 times 4 is of course 16 plus 6, and that would be 22 degrees is our angle RBS. So I want to go back to my original two drawings because our question was, wait a second, is this thing ultimately going to be obtuse or is it ultimately going to be acute? Well, if our part is 22 degrees, that means our other part is 22 degrees, and 22 plus 22 is 44. So if you drew this as an acute angle, you drew the correct drawing, but you won't know if your drawing is correct or not until the very, very end. So all I would stress to you is, look, you can draw the angle however you feel, so long as you're not drawing it like a right angle. Alright, let's move on to our last example. Okay, here we are in our third example, and I wanted to go a little bit faster with this one. It says given angle ACF is 6x plus 7, so here's A to C to F, and of course that's 6x plus 7. It says that FCG will be 7x plus 16, and G to C to B is going to be 5x minus 5. Now the only thing that makes this appear more difficult is that you now have 3 angles rather than 2. But they're all on a straight line, so we know that this total will of course still have to add up to be 180 degrees. So in this case, what we're really saying is, okay, well, we have a part, we have a part, we have a part, and here we have a whole. And so we'd actually use the formula part plus part equals whole. It doesn't matter how many parts we have, so long as we add them all up. Okay, so what's this look like? Well, 6x plus 7 plus 7x plus 16 plus 5x minus 5 is equal to 180. I know that 6x, 7x, and 5x, 6 plus 7 is 13, plus 5 would be 18x, plus, and those are all gone. Now we have 7 plus 16, which is 21, minus 5, which is, let's see, 7 plus 16, which is 23, and 23 minus 5 is going to give us 18. And this is, of course, equal to 180. Now from here, of course, we're going to subtract 18 from both sides, minus 18. And now we have 18x is equal to 180 minus 18, which will be 162. Now from here, of course, we're going to divide both sides by 18, and I know that 162 divided by 18 should be 9. Now, why is this problem so tricky? Well, we're going to look at the real reason why. It says find the measure of angle ACG. Notice from A to C to G is containing both of those angles. It's containing 2 angles. That means we actually have to plug in x twice. That means we have to say, okay, well 6x plus 7, and we also have to figure out 7x plus 16. Now for both of these, of course, we're going to plug in the x that we found. So we're going to plug in 9. We're going to plug in 9. I know 6 times 9 is 54 plus 7, and 54 plus 7 will, of course, be 61. So we're saying that this part right here is 61 degrees. Okay, 7 times 9, well, I know that's 63. 63 plus 16, let's see, that would be 79. So that's 79 degrees. Okay, so we're saying that that's 79 degrees. And what are we going to do with these two parts? Well, we have to add them. And so 61 plus 79 looks like it's going to be 140 degrees. You can double check my math, but let's see, 60 plus 70 is 130, and 1 plus 9 is 10, so 130 plus 10 should be 140. And I'm trying to leave room here to say that angle ACG is equal to 140 degrees. Alright? Well guys, I hope this helps. I know this is a longer video, but thank you so much for sitting through it. And if you watched all 5 levels and you watched the video and you did all the problems, you're going to be a master of angles. These are never going to trip you up ever again. Alright, y'all, take care.